that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking.
Hello and welcome to round one of the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, Whiskey Madness 2025, the road to the final pour, a 5-week-long blind tasting tournament featuring 18, now 16 whiskeys from around the country. I'm Scott, and joining me as always is Ed.
Hey, everybody.
Plus Master Anders.
Hello.
And Sherpa Gabe.
Back again.
Our venue remains the inconceivable Whiskey Tangent Arena in delightful downtown Bardstown, New Jersey, where the crowd here is drunk with anticipation and also just drunk. Because if you listened to our pregame wildcard show last week, you know that we've once again organized our brackets by proof. And today we'll be pitting against each other not only for under 100 proof expressions, but also for 120 plus proof expressions. And so Ed's here to get us going by enumerating the 8 spirits who will be contending today to make their Whiskey Madness wishes come true.
Right. Thank you, Scott. First in the below 100 proof bracket, we're going to start out today with 2 verse 3, which will be the Speakeasy Bourbon from Willett, a 98 proof expression. We're going against Russel's Reserve Rye, 6-year, a 90 proof expression. After that, it'll be 1 verse 4, 4 being the Bardstown Stave Finish Bourbon, 94 proof, going against that iconic Blanton single barrel bourbon, first time appearing in the tournament, 93 proof. We finally were able to find a bottle. Moving on to the 120 plus proof bracket, the 2 versus 3 in that one would be the 3 Elijah Craig single barrel private barrel 119.7 proof against the iconic Jack Daniel's single barrel proof bourbon 131.8, our hottest expression today. And then 1 verse 4 would be number 4 Roses single barrel strength bourbon, the OESV concoction, 125.8 proof, another hot one. Going against the top seed, slightly controversial, the Knob Creek Cask strength bourbon, a 120 proof. And so we're going to start off, though, with 2 verse 3 in the sub 100 proof bracket. Once again, that's the Speakeasy Bourbon against a Russel Reserve Rye.
That's right. So I am going to tell you about the Speakeasy Bourbon. The distiller is Willett Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. The proof is 98. The age is 5 years. The mash is 79% corn, 7% rye, 14% malted barley. The price is $40. Fun facts, I bought this in the Willett gift shop when we were on our Kentucky trip, and we featured this on episode 81 about Willett just last month. This is the very first Willett product to be officially tasted in the tournament proper, although Gabe did taste the Bardstown Estate Bourbon on the pregame show. And there is one to come, the Noah's Mill, which will compete in round 2. The Speakeasy was originally a distillery-only bottle, and the distillery doesn't actually have a whole lot to say about it, just some old-timey prohibition-related marketing copy. However, Ed, Jeff, and I did quite like the Speakeasy on the Willett episode. Ed, who's it going up against?
Scott, it's going against a Russel Reserve 6-year rye. This is a straight rye, though it's got a very Ed-friendly mash bill that I'll get to. It's owned by the Campari Group. Of course, the distillery is Wild Turkey, 90 proof, age 6 years. The mash bill, 51% rye, 37% corn, 12% malted barley. The MSRP is $45. Scott, you remember what you paid for it?
Yeah, that's about what I got it for.
The Russel Reserve line is a continuation of the honoring of Jimmy and Eddie Russell, the father-son master team that have combined tenure at Wild Turkey in excess of 100 years. Like all of the Wild Turkey rye whiskeys, it's made from their single rye mash bill, which I just told you. Probably most compatible with this out in the world that we've had before is probably the Pikesville 6-year rye.
Oh, okay.
That's a little bit hotter than this, but similar, and maybe even the Rittenhouse rye also has a similar mash bill.
Yeah, it's just barely a rye.
Like I said, it's an Ed-friendly rye.
Yeah, so the Russell's Rye is one of the 6 whiskeys in this tournament that we've never featured on the podcast before.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm never sure I've ever even had it even off air before.
Did we drink it at the distillery? Was it one of the ones that they gave us?
No, not the 6-year rye. They gave us a single barrel rye.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit older.
And the Speakeasy I've only tasted once on the episode because then we put it in the vault and I haven't tasted it since.
Right.
But what I remember from what I liked about it was a bit of an Irish whiskey type vibe. And even though I prefer ryes, the Russell's, as we discussed, is just barely a rye. So I'm not really sure going into this that I might mix up these two hilariously.
That's possible. I'm excited to get started.
So before Anders pours the whiskeys for the first matchup, I'm going to read the rules. So we have 6 glasses, 3 marked A and 3 marked B. For the first matchup, Anders will pour one of the whiskeys in each A glass and then the other in each B glass, after which he will hand a pair of A and B glasses to Ed, Gabe, and me for tasting. We will each indicate our choice on the official Whiskey Madness 2025 scoring cards, hand them to Anders, and he will announce the winner. Then Anders and Gabe will switch places and repeat the preceding steps for the next matchup, alternating back and forth until we're finished with the round.
Gentlemen, are you ready?
We are.
We're ready.
Nobody goes thirsty.
Yeah. Gabe, have you had either of these before?
I don't think I've had the Speakeasy bourbon.
Yeah.
I know I've had various types of Russell's Reserve. I know there's a bunch out there, so I can't tell if I've had the 6-year rye or not. But the whole line is always pretty good.
Yeah.
Very good stuff.
Interesting. The nose is interesting.
All right, so we have Class A.
Class A.
Ooh, a lot of caramel cream right off the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like those
Like those caramel creams?
Oh, like the candies.
the cow tails or whatever they're called.
Are they Gets?
Yeah.
I had the Gets
like-
in mind.
yeah,
The ones
yeah.
that are
Yes, okay.
sliced.
That's
what-
You got like an
There's-
8 or 10 pack
Yeah,
flat.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I actually haven't had them for a very
Little
long time.
cream-filled butthole of caramel.
Oh, yeah. How can you resist?
Little
Delectable.
brown ring, little brown ring.
Serious.
Some of you here might have had cream in your butthole, but not me.
Cream in your butthole, cream in your butt.
Second nosing now, I'm getting like a lot of vanilla frosting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Both very good.
All right,
though.
now I'm going to taste it.
Oh, we're supposed to taste too? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'll take the second one.
All right.
Here
Gentlemen,
comes
here's
B.
glass
B's coming
B.
out.
Gabe, there you are. Scott,
Thank you, sir.
of course.
Tasting the first one came down smooth, but it really jumped back hard with the Kentucky Hug. A lot of burn going
Yeah.
in the throat.
I'm getting a lot of like peanut brittle kind of flavor off of A.
Peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle.
Interesting.
Nosing B, I'm getting an open box of Cocoa Puffs.
I love it.
Cocoa Puffs.
Like when you know you get a fresh
Yeah.
box of cereal, you pop it open and get the little powder blowing up a little bit. And you grab a knife and a dollar bill and you roll it up and you do some lines.
So I'm not getting. I'm not getting the chocolate
thing.
that you're getting, but I am getting like a dry graininess, which I think you're kind of describing also.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know we don't do too much chocolate on the nosing, but it's got that same type of...
Very delicate though, right?
Chocolat.
Not like a cocoa.
A is a very delicate flavor overall.
Interesting.
Really interesting.
Compared to B.
Yeah. B's a little bit more. That's really good though.
They're both really good.
Baby has a nice little mild sweetness with a bunch of stone fruit in there. I can't put my finger on which fruit, but it's
Well, I can't believe
apricot maybe.
how close these are in goodness.
Yeah.
They're both really good whiskeys. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I feel like one is hotter. I think B to me is a little hotter than A.
Really?
But I don't know if that even means the proof because they're 8 points apart. But that's drinking them side by side. So I've been trying to clean my palate in between tastes.
Yeah, we've known for years. Higher proof doesn't always mean hotter. Now
B
that-
is hotter than A.
We know that.
Interesting.
Right. It doesn't necessarily mean proof.
See, I'm getting hotter on the A.
Your A is hot.
Thank you.
So is your B.
I thought they were the same thing.
Right. I know, right?
We got water here too, by the way.
We do. Yeah, drop a little bit in. Is anyone close to a decision? Like, I feel like we're all torn.
Really, right up there.
Everybody's drinking a quarter ounce of both blended together expertly by moi.
God damn you, you evil genius, you.
I'm using my master mixologist powers for
right.
evil.
You hear me not talking because I'm literally contemplating. It's that close.
This is so intense.
Putting a couple drops of water on both of them, I think it affected the B glass a little more butterscotchy sweetness.
Yeah, because now I'm getting peanut brittle on B. I told you I was going to hilariously mix these up
Yep.
in the intro.
Doing
Damn
that,
it.
I think that's bringing back a little heat for some reason too on B.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I got a little bit of grassiness on A now. This is fascinating.
All right. One vote is in.
That was.
Getting grassiness or some kind of like wild
I could do-
flowery weed.
I
Yes.
could do this 5 times in a row and pick something different each time. They're that close. One of them had a slightly, and I mean slightly off-putting finish. Like 10 seconds after the swallow, I just didn't like what was resonating.
Yeah.
4/5 of the drink was identical.
They are very similar. But I concur with you, Ed, that one of them just had a little bit more of an antiseptic bite.
And I don't know which one that is.
It
because-
might even be the more complex of the two, to be honest.
Yeah, it might be. All right. So we have all submitted our sheets to Anders.
All right. We have our votes in.
And we know we have a winner because there are three of us.
That's
There are
right.
three of us, so there are no ties.
Yeah.
Ed,
Yeah,
you have a vote for A.
as I do. Correct.
Wow.
Gabe, you have a vote for B.
Which contradicts what Ed said, in my thought.
And Scott,
Yes.
with knowledge,
Yes. Because I know
you
what I
have a vote for A.
Hey, and A is the winner.
Wow.
And A was.
Speakeasy.
Oh,
In our
Speakeasy.
first upset.
The first
No way.
upset of the tournament.
The 3 seed was A, and Russell's Reserve 6-year rye was B. So Speakeasy will move forward.
But a nice testament to Russell Reserve. What a great performance.
It's incredible how close they were. And
Yeah, they were very similar.
Very minor differences between them both. And I honestly just took a stab. Think I drank A last, and that's what I liked. So I picked A.
I was going to ask for more, and I said no.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
You've tasted them both.
Several
I
times.
took very small sips. I tasted them each 4 or 5 times. I'm like, they're not going to change. I'm tasting what I'm tasting, and halfway through the drink, they're a complete tie. And then I think the Russell's mash bill might have made it a little bit more complex, but Speakeasy won the day for me.
I'm a little bit surprised with both of you, but I'm not that surprised. We all know Russell's Reserve is a quality brand, so
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I was reminded of our famous Rittenhouse rye, the 100 proof, 51% rye, 49% corn expression, and Speakeasy being so close in proofage to that, but Russell's being so close in mash bill to it. And I'm excited to see Speakeasy move forward.
That's right.
our
Yeah. And not to
tournament.
mention, it's kind of more interesting with you because it's from the distillery, and it's kind of an X factor.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to the next pour. Anders and Gabe are going to switch places, and we're going to go the Bardstown Bourbon Company small batch stave finished versus Blanton's, the #1 seed.
Cheers.
They feel it growing, it's showing the feelings they keep overflowing, always stoking the fire. Adrenaline is overloading, hit the mat like a fighter. They never let up, never throwing, giving to their desires. No, they keep working on their focus. They feel the temperature rise, now there is no place to hide. You better dig deep inside and find anything, everything that you could ever need. Every breath that you breathe, dedicated to believe. What they called home, not for the weak, left out in the cold. Watched all the sheep do what they told, swore they would feast one day on their bones. They took the form of a beast. They took the form of a beast. They took the form of a beast.
All right, and we're back. We're about to do the next matchup, which will be the #4 seed, Bardstown Bourbon Company Stave Finished Bourbon, going against the iconic Blanton Single Barrel. And Scott's going to tell everybody about the Bardstown.
That's right. So, the Bardstown Bourbon Company small batch staved finished bourbon. The distillery, of course, is Bardstown Bourbon Company. It's right in the name, from Bardstown, Kentucky. The proof is 94. The blend is 48% of an 8-year Georgia 4-grain bourbon, 80 corn, 10 rye, 5 wheat, 5 malted barley, plus 26% of a 5-year Kentucky bourbon, 70 corn, 18 rye, 12 malted barley. This is all on the bottle, by the way. 20% is a 4-year Kentucky bourbon, 70 corn, 21 rye, 9 malted barley, plus 6% of a 12-year Kentucky bourbon, 78 corn, 10 rye, 12 malted barley. The age is at least 4 years, but the average was 6 years, 8 months. The derived mash bill is 70.3% corn, 14.3% rye, 2.4 wheat, and 8% malted barley. The price is $65. Fun facts, Ed bought this at the Bardstown gift shop when we were on our Kentucky trip, and he also bought a bottle for Gabe, and apparently Gabe has finished his.
Yep.
All right, good boy. Good stuff. I think someday we'll probably do a Bardstown Bourbon Company episode, but we decided to put this in now because, well, we needed another for the bracket, and Ed had it. Ed, what iconic whiskey is it going up against?
It's going against Blanton's original single barrel bourbon.
mic drop.
This product was made by the iconic whiskey maker Elmer T. Lee, who came up under Colonel Albert B. Blanton, who was the president of the George C. Stagg Bourbon Distillery, which is now Buffalo Trace, till 1952. Then Elmer T. Lee came on, and as like the last thing he did before he left, he wanted to make a product honoring Blanton, and so he came up with basically the first commercial single barrel bourbon ever made. Age is not really stated, 6 to 7 years.
6 to 8.
The mash bill's undisclosed, but they call it their number 2 mash bill, Buffalo Trace, which is their high rye, but it's not really high rye to us. It's 12 to 15%, something like that rye.
Yeah.
So it should be a very traditional bourbon, and I think that's what makes it famous. For me, it is. MSRP is around 65. I actually paid around 70, 72 for it, so not too crazy above that.
Tremendous.
I mean, a few years ago, you could find this everywhere for $50, and it's criticized highly as being overhyped. It's all you read on the internet.
Yeah.
However, I just think it's overpriced. And I do like some of their other expressions. The gold is my favorite. It's like 103 proof if you get the regular gold, Blanton's Gold. The From the Barrel is also very elite. We did an episode on all of them if you want to go back and check it.
Yeah, showed up for that one.
Which one was that one?
The Blanton's episode.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or it was a short. It was,
Right.
It's the drunkest ever got on a shirt, I'll tell you that much right now. So, yeah.
sure.
But this is Blanton's original single barrel. This is the one that has the horses on top that people collect, and it's never been on the tournament. So it's going to be very interesting. We have a brand new up-and-coming distillery with a very weird stay-finished version going against something iconic. I wonder what's going to win.
Yeah, so in reference to your comment about the haters, there's also people who just absolutely adore it, and they are the ones who are paying a lot of money for it just to get it. According to them, Blanton should storm this entire competition, right? They think it's the best thing. It's the most smooth. It's the most flavorful.
Right.
And despite all the hate it gets from other corners of the internet, I think it's delicious. So my question is, can the Stave finish get enough distinctiveness from its strange mash bill? It's got a little bit of weed in it to elevate it above something that's incredibly traditional like Blanton's.
I'll take it to another step. I think this is an old versus new, right? This is something
Yeah.
that basically was concocted around the 1984, maybe.
Yeah.
And you have something that is pretty much brand new. I mean, we've been at Bardstown. We see how they make their whiskey.
Yeah.
It's very modern. And Buffalo Trace is an old school distillery. So I'm excited. Gabe?
Yeah, Gabe, hand us the glasses. And Anders, what do you think about this matchup?
I am thoroughly excited to see how this matchup plays out.
Anytime you get a free dram of Blanton's, it's a good day anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any Bardstown stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had a handful of offerings over the past several years.
I noticed you never featured it at the lounge when you ran it. We never had that row of all those iconic little square bottles of them.
Yeah.
You just never had a distributor that they featured it?
Or
you hated it. Now, breaking news.
breaking news. No, I just never got around to it, like to putting it on the shelf. To be perfectly curt, I was doing a lot there during my time, and
Right. Yeah,
Basically,
a lot of hats.
yeah. But it was on my radar, and I just never really got the.
Did you have a
opportunity
couple
to-
bottles in the back of the Bardstown, or you just never acquired it?
No, I just never brought it in.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to bring it in. I wanted to do a tasting with them at some point.
They have a lot of
Yeah, they
different
come
expressions.
in force. Like, it's hard just to choose, like, I'll just take the 2 base expressions because there's variations in all of them.
All right, so Gabe has handed us both A and B. A is very delicate on the nose, but I am getting a little bit of oak on the end, whereas B, I get apples.
Interesting.
Just to piggyback on all your thoughts, I haven't had Blanton's for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So it's
been a while.
Having had the Bardstown very recently, I was highly impressed, and I appreciate you bringing it back for me.
Yeah.
On your lovely trip to Mecca.
Oh, yes.
But I got a feeling this is going to be another tough matchup.
Yeah, the proofs are very close, 93, 94, so I don't think that's really going to be a factor here.
These are, to me, drastically different. They're not as close as the first 2 that we had. I'm going to be able to make a decision on this a little bit quicker. I'm either going to like it or not.
Okay.
I'm concurring with both you and Ed that both their drastically differences in the noses that I'm getting on.
The taste of A is exactly the nose I got, a sweet oak, and I haven't had the B yet.
Going on sight alone, I mean, the amber color of both of them is very similar.
Yeah.
So neither of these really taste like any blends that I've had before.
It goes back to what I said, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while, so Honors has made a decision.
And of course, the whole idea of a single barrel is that it's going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
Ed is
know.
turning it in.
I'm always, wow, you guys made a decision so fast.
Take your time. But to me, as soon as I took the sips the first round, I knew which one I wanted.
Same.
How about water? Did you guys put any
Nope.
water?
None.
No?
Under 100, I won't.
Okay, fair enough.
It doesn't open. To me, it rarely helps.
I have all 3 decisions
All right.
in front of me.
All right.
Honors was first, so we'll go with him.
Okay.
He chose A.
A.
Ed chose B. Once again, Scott is the
Tiebreaker.
That's right. And I won't reveal what I said. I'll let Gabe reveal.
Scott picked B.
Oh.
And B was.
And the favorite is moving on.
Oh, the B was Blanton's.
It was such a traditional bourbon. I also liked it better. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And you could really taste the oaky staves in the first one.
Yes.
And it actually was a very good whiskey. But the Blanton's just finishes so... I'm surprised you picked A because you like candy notes. And
I do.
And the Blanton's was definitely sweeter and caramely and vanilla. It was just love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Take us through picking A. If you
Yeah,
just
what were
think
you
you knew
thinking?
which
'Cause
one
I
was
thought you were picking Blanton's with me as fast as you
I
get it.
did too.
I made the distinction. I just noticed a strong astringency on the Blantons personally, and that's why I went with A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm really, I have to tell you, I really thank my trip to Kentucky because I think it's improved the way I taste whiskeys as far as clearing my palate between them. Because I do take a little bit and swish it around, swallow, and then take a real official taste. And it clears all the other whiskey out.
Yeah, the sugary oak of the Bardstown is really good.
Yes.
It's really good. There's nothing wrong with it. We're only picking splitting hairs.
Yeah.
The Blantons just had this apple that really surprised me. It smelled like apple juice. It
Yeah.
tasted like apples, and then it finished so smoothly for me
Like caramel apples.
that
Yeah.
and it faded away so nicely. It was
I
like-
honestly thought maybe that Blanton's was not going on, and you guys were both going to pick A because A is, I think, more traditionally into your palate at times, Scott,
Yeah.
yes,
because it's
absolutely
more herbaceous
is.
and more spicy and all that.
Yeah, it just had a nice sweeter finish that I just enjoyed in the moment.
Yeah,
So-
I poured myself a little one while you guys were tasting it just to remind myself how it was. And it's so even
Yeah.
and smooth, and it doesn't go up
have
and
to
down.
tell
It's-
you.
It just fades very slowly, and it's beautiful.
it's a beautiful thing.
I think the Speakeasy is going to be really close to the Blanton's.
Oh,
I think
that'll
that's
be-
going to be a tough one to come up with.
That'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. All right. So the first bracket of the night is finished.
Yes.
So we're going to be cleaning glasses. We'll be back with the 120 plus bracket, starting out with Jack Daniel's single barrel, barrel proof bourbon against Elijah Craig single barrel, private barrel. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
Got a monster inside of me. You better watch out if you ignite me's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
All right, we're back for the next bracket. Andres has passed us glass A and glass B. And in those glasses, though we don't know which one, is the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof bourbon and the Elijah Craig single barrel private barrel. And Scott's going to tell us about the Elijah Craig right now.
That's right. So the Elijah Craig single barrel private cask bourbon, a Rastelli store pick, a grocery store right down the street from me. The distiller's Heaven Hill from Bardstown, Kentucky. The proof is 119.7. We're rounding up. Age is 10 years. The mash is 78 corn, 10 rye, 12 malted barley. The price is 79, but I got it for 62.
Let's go.
Fun
Shout out to
facts.
Rastelli's.
Yeah, they make great picks.
They're so great.
We featured Elijah Craig products 4 times on the podcast previously. Their regular bourbon on episode 9 back in July of 2019, and their single barrel bourbon, toasted barrel bourbon, and their rye on a Whiskey Short quick taste since then. But this will be the first ever Elijah Craig appearance in the Madness tournament.
I can't believe there's not some Scott bias in Bob's because I loved Elijah Craig.
Scott biased? You mean Ed biased because it's Elijah Craig and you like Elijah Craig. How could it be my bias?
Because it's just making an appearance. It must have been the last bottle in the store.
I see. No, it wasn't.
and like everything was sold out.
They had plenty, so if we love this, we could go and get some.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. It's going up against Jack Daniel's Single Barrel.
Right, this is, of course, it's classified as a Tennessee whiskey, but it meets all the parameters of a bourbon.
Right.
Brown-Forman is the company. The distillery is Jack Daniel's Distillery. It's released every year now. This particular proof is 131.8.
Highest of the tournament.
Yeah. Mash bill's 80% corn, 12% rye, 8% malted barley. MSRP is around 65. I think I paid a little bit more for this because it was a store pick. I think I paid 70 because it was a Benash pick. Jack Daniel's pulls these from the upper levels of their rick house. It's 4 to 7 years in age. Their colors are very different between these two. I don't know what that means. Did this say how old Elijah Craig was?
10 years.
Interesting. So, yeah, all right. Let's go nose it.
Yeah, so this is going to be fascinating for 3 reasons in my book. I've never tasted either of these particular expressions, but of course I've had Elijah Craig single barrels and Jack Daniel's single barrels before. I'm famously underwhelmed by both their regular expressions, like Jack Daniel's and Elijah Craig don't overwhelm me. They don't whelm me, although I do find things I like in each. And their mash bills are really similar, which is something that I wasn't really anticipating. 78 to 80 corn, 10 to 8 rye, and they have the same amount of malted barley.
It's very interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I think the Elijah Craig regular bourbon for $36, $37 is a very good buy. A stronger nose on B for me.
Yeah, I was just going to go there. The B nose is there's a lot of maple syrup on that nose.
Yes, I was getting that too.
On the A, I'm getting a lot of sweet oak, but it's not as prevalent as B.
Oh, I mean, B smells like waffles with maple syrup on it. That's what that smells
And
like.
I don't know where that's coming from.
No, I don't either. That smells awesome.
Neither of these have to, right. The nose is way better on B, but will it transfer? We'll find out.
Scott would probably concur with me that B is really reminiscent of Angel's Envy.
I mean, it has that maple-ish quality to
very
it.
Very mapley.
Yeah. Not quite as mapley as Angel's Envy, because that's...
Then just say I'm wrong, okay?
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying not to the extent of...
I'm cooperating.
Cooperating here. I'm cooperating.
All right, I'll do a GD lock count.
A and... Oh, my gosh. The nose on B is tremendous. Will that transfer to the palate?
Wow, I'm getting a lot of green apple on A.
Interesting.
Yeah, so...
But hot, though.
Hot green apple.
Ooh.
It smelled a little appley.
Wasn't that stripper name?
Hot green apple.
And that's hot caramel apple. Or hot candy apple, maybe.
Hot rotten apple.
Shade.
It's possible.
Do you ever have a kid named Candace?
Candy girl.
Make sure they're a Rhodes Scholar so they don't go by
my
Candy.
road. Right. They go by Candace.
B was even a little hotter, but also a lot more sweet. Then the heat is actually improving as I sit.
It is hotter.
Not unpleasant, but it's just rising.
Which is
I mean-
which is hotter?
The B, I think
B.
the B.
Although B is darker, the hotness makes me think it's the Jack Daniels because it's the higher proof.
I've added some water.
Want some water?
I do.
It's open.
All right. These are both fantastic whiskeys. They're both amazing. I like the roasted quality of B. I'm going to drop 4 into each.
I don't think water did much to the A. It's still good, though. It didn't diminish any flavor or heat.
Okay. Eddie, any similarities or differences on A and B? Oh, you're already making your decision.
To me, they're both amazing. They're distinctly different. And one just was a little bit better for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to combine them and just enjoy them.
Interesting.
Not to call you out, Gabe, but I think that water did do something to A and B, which I like better.
I believe it's called hydration.
Yeah. I mean, I like this one better the first time I tasted it, and I like it better with the water, but not by much. Handing to
All right.
unders, my choice.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
All right, listeners,
Yes.
gentlemen,
Yes.
All
are
five
we
of you.
ready?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm excited.
We have our first undisputed
Oh,
whiskey.
unanimous decision. We all picked the same one.
Unanimously.
Wow.
The judges have all gone with B, which is...
Yes.
Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Tennessee whiskey.
I wasn't sure.
Holy
No.
moly. I gotta get a
So the
bottle of-
darkness of the color is really interesting to me.
It
because
is.
It's more youthful.
Yes, absolutely.
As a note, but I think it hit harder and lingered longer.
It really did. This is extraordinary
I
expression
think
from
A was
them.
good, but it just dropped off pretty quick.
But this could be the placement of the Rickhouse being up top, having the the greater amount of
Very true. So that it's-
evaporation.
Angel share.
So that the
Right.
number on its age belies its actual age.
Yes.
Right. Similar to what we see from Texas whiskeys and all.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. This is the
And I
best
remember-
Jack Daniels I've ever tasted.
Shout out to Rich from Benash, because I walked in there buying a bunch of other stuff, and he's like, "Hey, have you tried that? Because we have a few bottles left." I'm like, "Nah," because I'm like, Jack Daniels single barrel. I've had it before. I used to be in with people that bought them. Remember, I used to get 2-3 bottles a year. I'd buy. When Greg would get his barrel from Tennessee.
Right, your cousin.
So I'm like, all right. I walk in the back room. You know how it happens when you go to Benash and you get in the back room.
Walk in the back room.
You know, it's
seen
like
Rich in a
he like whiskey. You and it's like
Oh my God.
you know, in a good way. It's like here,
kind of
like it's
great.
like I just stopped by on my lunch break and I'm going back kind of like buzzed up, like because he gave me 30.
CNC.
Bill calls me in the corner wearing a gimp suit.
But the presentation just came in a box and it had like a wrapper gold chain around it that said Benash around the neck of the bottle. You remember that?
Hey Ed, here's a bottle we're hitting all. You want to try this?
I'm not shocked, but to me the Elijah Craig, it's been getting so much hype for its cast trends the last couple of years.
Yeah.
that I-
ECBP.
And it's good.
Yeah.
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 But it's not as good as the Jack Daniels.
If I went in blind without knowing any labels on
Yeah.
any of these, I would not have guessed this was a Jack Daniels product.
No.
It
Yeah.
really does
Right.
not have that normal Jack Daniels.
The banana
Tennessee.
is not really there.
Yeah, you pointed it out before we started recording that Jack Daniels has a unique taste.
Nothing else is Jack.
Scott, you
Yeah.
kind of allude to that too. I always think that Jack Daniels has such a strong banana bread note.
It does.
And this did not in the slightest.
No, I mean, this was maple syrup on waffles.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
Love waffles.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to Denny's?
Let's
Who
go.
wants to go to Waffle House?
Well, it's a
get dark.
long drive from here
That's true.
to the nearest Waffle House. All right. I mean, this was amazing. So we're going to take our last break, and we're coming back with the ultimate matchup in this round. The Four Roses Single Barrel Straight Bourbon OESV versus the Knob Creek Cask Strength Bourbon, the #1 seed.
The crowd is obstreperous.
Obstreperous.
You don't wanna see me mad, I'll be coming with that payback. You don't wanna taste that, don't wanna see me on attack. Trust me, you don't wanna face that, adrenaline, I crave that. Yeah, you know I'm nasty, I'm about to be a savage. When I want it, better have it. Like an assassin, I'm praying, I gotta act on a craving. I'm coming after, I'm chasing, I'm gonna capture, erasing. Yeah, those who cross me, you'll be crossed off, cause I'm plotting. About to pop off, you can't stop me. As long as they keep walking, I'll keep making deposits. They'll find out they can't stop it, cause they'll learn that I'm a prophet. You can't stop me now, the demon's tearing out. Cause I'm seeing no
All right, we're back for the last pour of the night. The last matchup in the 120 plus proof bracket. That's
right.
The highly debatable 4 seed, Four Roses, is still not accepting it.
No, they're not.
Four Roses single barrel strength bourbon,
Salty.
OESV formula brought from Kentucky. You can get the 100 proof in your neighborhood now.
You can
but
now.
the cask strength is still only available at the distillery. And it's made its journey here, and they're outraged. I've never seen such violent behavior outside. We had to call security to lock them down. They're so outraged to be a 4 seed here, especially against what many feel is a pumped up $40 bottle, Knob Creek, that we all know and love, the 9-year. But now it's a cask strength, and it's one I poured. So I brought both these bottles back from Kentucky, and I don't like
did.
to see my children fighting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't put your kids against her, but I'm going to put my kids against each other, and we're going to go Four Roses single barrel, and Scott's going to tell us about that right now.
I am. So the Four Roses single barrel strength bourbon, the OESV formula. The distiller is Four Roses in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. The proof is 125.8. The age is 9 years, 7 months. The mash bill is 75% corn, 20% rye, 5% malted barley. The price was $100 at the gift shop. Fun facts. As you probably know, Four Roses currently produces 2 different mash bills in combination with 5 different yeast strains, although a couple more mash bills are on the way. That makes 10 different varieties that they blend together or not to make their different expressions. So we did feature the readily available single barrel, which is the OBSV, on episode 36 when Anders got his jacket, season 4, February of 2021, and it was entered into last year's Whiskey Madness. Of course, we tasted the OESV variety, the one we're tasting tonight, which Ed got at the distillery alongside the OBSK, which I got on part 2 of episode 79 about our Kentucky trip. And we even tasted the OBSF on the December news, which I was only able to get because they are now starting to release all 10 varieties of the single barrel, but at 100 proof, not barrel strength. Ed, who's it going up against?
It's going against the Knob Creek Cask Strength Bourbon. Proof of 120, aged 9 years like all Knob Creek bourbon. A mash bill is 77% corn, 13% rye, 10% malted barley. $60 at the distillery where I got it, but this one is fresh out the barrel.
That's right. Just opened tonight.
Literally poured in November and opened tonight. So it's been in the bottle just a few months. It's one of the freshest bourbons we've ever tried.
Ever.
It's funny, it doesn't say barrel proof on the bottle, but most people would say that this is definitely a barrel proof, and it's one of the best bargains, I think, in the whiskey industry, because you can find these pretty readily.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to go to Kentucky to get this one. I did, and that's why we're featuring it as number 1.
Yeah, so unlike the first matchup in this bracket, I absolutely love the original expressions of these. I love Knob Creek, and I love Four Roses Single Barrel.
Yes.
Knob Creek was my whiskey origin story. I gravitated to it
Yeah.
originally. Like the OBSV that you can readily get is a go-to for me. And I've had both of these expressions, actually, because I drank all of mine that I brought back, and then we did it on the episode.
I should say Scott was filled right behind me.
Yes.
So both our bottles came from the same barrel, the same
Yeah,
juice.
mine was actually fresher then.
Filled right. Scott's was actually like 35 seconds fresher than mine.
So I'm not going to lie. I think this will hurt Ed more because it's both your children, but this is going to hurt me a lot because I love both of these expressions so much.
Yeah.
The boldness of the Knob Creek versus the fruity sweetness of the Four Roses. They're just so delicious just for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to know which one's which.
Maybe, I
but
don't
that
know.
doesn't mean which one we like better.
I don't know if it will for me, because at this type of heat,
Okay.
it could be anything. I want to go back in something, Scott. You can put this whatever.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Gabe drank a whole bottle of the Bardstown Stave finished bourbon might be a reason that he picked it over the Blantons, because he had a very familiar experience with that
Possibly.
expression.
Yeah.
And so it could be something that spoke to him in a different way than us.
So you're saying possibly because I drank all of my Knob Creek
Yes,
cast strength,
yes.
I might pick it.
You definitely have had a lot more than that than my version of the single barrel. My
That's
formula.
true.
So-
That's true. Anders, what do you think about these two?
Both Knob Creek, Cask Strength, and Four Roses Single Barrel expressions are something that are both near and dear to my heart. The classic Four Roses Single Barrel is something where, for me, it would be my desert island whiskey. It's like if you could only have one whiskey
Yeah.
for everything for the rest of your life, what would it be? It'd probably
It'd
Four
be on
Roses
my
Single Barrel.
top 4 list, probably top 5
Which
list.
one did you
Yeah.
say? The Four Roses?
The Four Roses, it is the most reasonable, most versatile, and yet excellent whiskey on the market right now.
I think Scott and I have said that Four
Yeah.
Roses single barrel is the best deal out there.
It's one of the cheapest single barrels.
and regular Knob Creek is right there with it.
Yeah.
What were the price points in these?
60 for the Knob Creek.
It was 100 for the Four Roses single barrel because it was
wow.
at the distillery.
Okay. I jumped ahead and I poured myself a little dram of each before you guys got yours. And
Yeah.
you are going to have an enjoyably hard time picking the winner of this one because they are both spectacular.
I'm thoroughly looking forward to it.
Siobhan has arrived in the arena and the crowd goes wild.
Oh my God, nobody knew we were going to have this appearance here. This is the last matchup, Siobhan.
Yeah, these are really both distinctive in their own way. But
Yeah.
you're going to have a hard time
We're tasting
picking this
the
out.
Four Roses single barrel that I brought back from Kentucky against the Cask Strength Knob Creek that I brought back from Kentucky.
It's an old Ed bracket.
Normally.
Yeah. Let's get to do it.
Yeah, this is going to take some time. You got to get on this. I didn't even smell them, but the tasting was.
Oh, come on. This is stupid now. They smell exactly the same. Did you pour us the same whiskeys, Gabe?
Not this time.
Wait.
Anticipation.
I mean, they both smell incredibly herbaceous to me.
Yeah.
Which is not something that I was expecting.
Woody, floral.
Right. And I tried to pick a fruity sweet one for the Four Roses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have we had just too much sweet whiskeys tonight? And now,
No, I don't think so. No.
We really haven't.
well, so I didn't taste it. This is just off the nose, but they smell identical to me. It's crazy.
They are very close.
I don't think we've overloaded our palates to get to that point,
Okay.
though.
All right. I trust you, Gabe.
I know what you're saying, but I think they are more distinctive against each other.
Yeah, I want to say that for me, B is a touch more vegetal.
Okay.
And A is slightly more oaky.
I'm getting black pepper on B. On A, I'm getting celery.
Wow, that's a
Like
good
a-
one.
Oh, yeah.
The leaves.
Man, I was thinking about making a weird celery drink.
enough?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
good. There's more brown sugar on B. Like, I'm getting brown sugar.
This will come out after I've gone to this thing, but I was working on a cocktail for a competition with Screwball, and I wanted to do something that like evoked ants on a log.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I was thinking about selling, but
That's different.
I
got
also
you.
didn't have a bottle of Screwball, and it was part of signing up for like going to an event, and it was just like make a cocktail, and then
So celery with the peanut butter with the raisins.
I went with
Yeah.
something that was a little bit more safe, and if I win, I'm sorry, people who lost, but my safe choices are better than your inspired ones. Shade. And if I didn't, then I'm an asshole. I don't know what to tell you. Like there's 99 ways for that to be an awful fucking drink, and one way for it to be brilliant. Yeah.
Everybody out there is waiting for us to make a decision.
I know. No. We have to taste these. We're stalling because these are so close.
These are both good.
And
They're
what
really-
are you getting on A
I'm
versus
getting
B?
brown sugar on A,
Okay.
and a lot of traditional bourbon notes on A. I'm getting something different on B, which I can't place. You were tasting celery and stuff, which is
Well, I was smelling celery on A. Although my previous mentions were on the nose. The taste is completely different. There's no herbaceousness on the taste. It was all on the nose. At least initially.
I can see what you're saying on the A. Now that I smell it,
Yeah, when you smell it, it's like a salad.
there's something distinctive about the way a celery stalk
Yeah.
smells.
Celery in particular
It's
is what I got.
very distinctive.
Maybe celery seed? I'm not sure.
Could be dill.
What's your dill?
As if.
I like dill.
Yeah. I like dill in certain situations, but people can overdo
Okay.
dill.
I got it.
Ed, you got it. What does that mean?
I have Ed's decision.
Oh my God, Ed is so quick. I don't know how he's
So
like.
it's quick. I mean, we had these longer than any other cup.
Are you sure? Would you like to go back and taste a third time?
Ed has not, to his credit, asked for more pours.
He did this time.
Oh, he did this time. Oh well, fuck me.
And they are his bottles, so he's allowed to.
No, I
Maybe
did
later,
because I
Scott.
wanted. You know why, Scott? I drank too much, and I wanted to put water in them, and so I had to get another half ounce each to put water in.
Right. All right. So I'm going to do what Anders is doing and put water in it, and I think this is going to make my decision because honestly, these are very close. They are different from each other, as opposed to the nose, which I identified as identical. So we'll see.
12 o'clock midnight.
Oh. Sorry. Sorry.
You want to clean that up?
There's so much brown sugar on A. You want to clean that up? Yeah. Sorry, I made a mess.
Yeah, he's got a lot of brown sugar for sure.
A has so much brown sugar, but
And B was surprisingly herbaceous.
yes.
Yeah.
Right. So the water brings
Because-
out the herbaceousness that I
Because
smelled.
neither one on paper did I expect to be anything but traditional bourbon notes.
No.
Neither one of these is coming across as sweet and fruity.
No, there's an extra edge to both of them.
It could be the proofing.
Yeah.
That teeters into the more savory side.
I mean, Gabe
I
does.
keep trying to proof these down to see if I can like kind of distill it out to
Yeah.
like something.
Right, you
that's,
want to get them
like,
back down to the
unique.
100 level to their core.
Yes, to the
expressions.
original
Yeah.
expressions, for sure.
Like-
I'm going to do that.
The proofing itself, I mean, as high as it is, doesn't taste that high.
Yeah.
I mean, some people.
No, they're very
yeah,
smooth.
They are. I always go back to Charlie saying, "I like to drink my whiskey on the rocks." So, like
Charlie
those-
Garrison, you're talking
Charlie
about.
Garrison, yeah. My friend Charlie.
I was gonna say, I was like Charlie Sheen. I don't remember them saying that.
I like to
Charlie
drink my
the Chocolate
tiger blood
Factory?
on the rocks.
Charlie Sheen here, smell my neck. It smells like tiger.
Yeah. But
Charlie Chocolate Factory. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
some people like I enjoy high proof bourbon neat, but I think it should also hold up to ice better. And so I think when you're drinking something like
It
this,
should tingle on your balls.
Well, if you dip your balls in it, sure.
apparently
I mean, it
that
should
works
hold
with
up.
soy
It
sauce.
should hold up.
Right. So supposedly, if you dip your balls in soy sauce, you can taste it.
We're getting off track.
Yeah.
We are.
If I had a list of every Chinese restaurant, I would throw it out for that reason.
I have one decision. I'm waiting on Scott. And,
Oh, I will
Honors.
write. All right.
All right, Mom.
Okay. Go get your low main later.
Remember the main.
Remember lo mein. All right. I am going to make a decision.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a feeling no one's going to pick with me because these two got just like thick as thieves over here. Just
Well, I don't know. So
I have a feeling we're not going to pick the same.
yeah. So Ed, you and I today had picked the same one every time.
We have, and that's why I feel like that's very low that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this time.
Scott made his decision, like look over at both of them and like turn to his right and like don't cheat.
No, don't cheat, Anders.
I have all three
Yes.
decisions in hand.
Yes.
Right. Is it unanimous?
Right. Is it unanimous?
Well, you'll have to wait.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
Oh my God. You're such a DT.
Such a tease. Fuck.
Okay, well, to answer that, no.
Oh, it's not the same.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's exciting.
It's 2-1. All right.
Scott picked B, Anders picked A, Ed picked A.
Oh, so A goes first.
A1. What is A?
What is A?
A is the 4 row.
Oh, shit.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
I think that's a better pick. I really
Wow.
do. Really
So I
surprised.
picked the Knob Creek, and
Yeah.
that's no surprise at all.
No surprise at all because you just drank a whole bottle of it.
That's right.
But that's our first 4 upsetting the number 1.
Yep.
And Four Roses is so vindicated. You can hear their fans setting fire to cars in the parking lot in celebration of the
anybody
upset.
Did anybody
Right.
mention cinnamon on 4 Roses?
Cinnamon. No, we didn't.
I said brown sugar, but brown sugar and
Yeah.
cinnamon are like cousins.
I got a little cinnamon,
it's
but
there.
I don't think I
Well,
mentioned
they go
it.
together, right? Like pancakes and stuff, like muffins.
Yeah, I thought it was a little more
Well, it makes
distinctive.
sense to me anyway.
I mean, I'm not really mad. I mean, like we said, all 4 of these whiskeys could have been seated anywhere in this matchup. So
Right.
it's not really that big of an upset,
Yeah.
even though on paper here, the way we bracketed
upset,
it is an upset.
And the Four Roses people are riding outside in celebration.
Yes,
because of-
I mean, they probably shouldn't, but,
Right.
tell Eagles fans not to climb a pole.
That's right. That's right. There's Four Roses fans
can
on
grease
horses
those poles
riding
like
down
all
Broad
this
Street.
shit.
Yeah, you can grease those poles, but they'll climb that shit anyway.
Right.
The whiskeys that have made it through the next round.
Yeah, give a
today,
rack up, Ed.
We got the Speakeasy Bourbon from Willett's Gift Shop. Blanton Single Barrel has moved through, which Blanton fans are like, no surprise.
Yeah, right, exactly.
The Jack Daniel's Single Barrel has moved through. And then Four Roses Single Barrel Strength Bourbon OESV is moving on. So tune in next week when we will have the 100 to 110 brackets and the 110 to 120 brackets. And we'll see what the Super 8 looks like.
That's right. Final thoughts from Gabe.
Again, this is always an exciting tournament. This is always a lot of fun, always having a lot of different bottles and watching the reaction and the picks get made. It's never easy and it's always exciting.
Anders, what do you think? What do you think happened tonight?
I think we had a beautiful series of matchups, a couple of upsets, and 8 phenomenal whiskeys featured. And I'm very excited to see how this tournament ends up shaking out.
It's really great that Blanton's went on, right? Because
Yeah.
people like to hate on Blanton's, and our line has always been, it's not the taste of it, it's the price of it. It's
Right.
the hype of it.
Yes.
It's the expectation of getting this incredible thing, and it's just Blanton's. It's 93 proof, and it's delicious. What the fuck are you expecting? Don't pay $3,000 for it, you douche. Blanton's Belligerence.
Nobody wants to be let down by their expectations, and
know.
everyone is always delighted by being surprised by their expectations. And I think that's what's going to define the under 100 bracket moving forward between Blanton's and Speakeasy Bourbon.
And I do think that that's a better matchup than anything else on the
Yes.
board in that bracket because they're very similar together. And the Four Roses, the Jack Daniels, the proof is not that different, but the mash bill and the style of these two whiskeys are very different.
I mean, the one that was the standout actually for me in this entire round one, was the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. That was not only surprising, but also one of the most delicious whiskeys I've had in a few months. Because we've brought all those whiskeys back from
Right.
Kentucky.
Yeah, we've been drinking a lot of good whiskey recently.
Yeah.
And I would not have it if Rich did not say, hey,
Yeah.
hey, listen,
Richard Benash.
hey,
Hey.
have you tried this? And I'm like, it's Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. He's like, come here. And I tried. I'm like, shit.
Come here. Come in the back room.
Come back here,
once
son.
Again, that's like a quarter ounce pour, so it's just enough to.
School's in session.
But I always feel like if I don't buy it, like Rich is like, well, fuck you, I'll never tell you another whiskey. Like I feel obligated to take anything they advise me because they've never directed us to have a bad whiskey. Never.
Yeah. All right.
So for the Whiskey Tangent podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Anders.
I am Gabe.
Tune in next week when it only gets more fun.
That's right.
Cheers.
Later.
Take that, make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Yeah. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just fake it.